This is a hole punch, but it's no ordinary hole punch. Not only does it cut holes one at a time, it cuts them the exact diameter to fit a single LEGO stud. That's right, this is an official LEGO hole punch, designed to combine the realms of paper and plastic. So why does this thing even exist? Why has nobody heard of it? But more importantly, why would you want to use it? Well, today, we're gonna find out.
Long before the clouds with big names like Nintendo or IKEA, LEGO actually partnered with a slightly less well-known company called Muji back in 2009. Seen somewhat as the IKEA of Japan, Muji is renowned for its minimalist yet iconic designs including clothes, cosmetics, coloring pens, cookware, cookers, coffee tables, curry, couches, cafes, and even at some point, cars. But why exactly did LEGO decide to team with this Japanese retailer? Well, aside from an appreciation for square logos, Muji also shares LEGO's love for inspiring creativity, and so they got together to produce a concept never seen before: LEGO plus paper. That's right, an innovative series of sets that combines basic bricks with crafty cutouts to add a whole new creative dimension to your builds. And the key to all is this, named the
レゴブロック穴パンチ
or as I prefer, the stud puncher. This tool cuts holes the exact diameter to satisfyingly fit a single LEGO stud, allowing you to truly go beyond the brick. However, despite the brilliant premise, the concept never really caught on. Sure, the whole thing may have seemed a little unconventional for the LEGO purists, but it still had so much potential to revolutionize our play. So, where did they mess up? Well, while the sets themselves are designed quite well, sadly the same can't be said for the stud puncher, which has a few issues, to say the least. So punching a single hole was easy. Punch, punch, punch. But what if I want to make a hole for this 2x2 brick? Well, first you'll need this little stencil, which by the way is super easy to lose, and use it to mark out your studs to prep them for punching. But when you go to do so, what's this? Of course, the stud puncher completely blocks your view. So they expect you to turn it upside down and line up your punch through this stupid little window. But since it's now flipped, your fresh punch will jam up each time. And then when you go to unjam it, instead of being stored, the punch bits just sort of fall out, so it's not long before you're flooded with these menacing little circles. Oh, but here's the worst part. Remember how the holes are the perfect diameter for their satisfying fit? Well, it turns out it's so tight that if your punches aren't absolutely perfect, then that brick ain't gonna fit, screwing the whole thing up.
Ultimately, the stud puncher's flaws really dragged down the overall LEGO Muji experience, perhaps being the reason why the concept failed to flourish.
And now that the sets have been long forgotten, the wonders of combining paper and LEGO are never to be seen again. Oh wait, you can just use, you know, an ordinary hole punch. In fact, the standard 6mm hole punch diameter provides a far more forgiving fit for your bricks, so you'll never miss another punch.
You can find this cheap one online and it's pretty perfect for the job. It has this sort of open front so you can easily see where you're punching, plus a little compartment here that holds all your punchy bits. So we sorted the puncher, but what about the stencil to mark out your studs? Well, since there's not really an equivalent out there, we decided to design our own.
Behold, the playful stud stencil. Sparkle, sparkle. Bigger, stronger, and pinker, the stud stencil's all you need to line up your studs like a pro and punch the perfect holes every single time.
Okay, now it's time to finally focus on this, the paper. While the sets did introduce some great ways to use the medium, we still feel like its potential is left a little untapped, unpunched if you will. So with our stud puncher and stud stencil equipped, let's see if we can punch it further.
Okay, so the most obvious thing we have to do is combine it with origami. For example, you can add a little emotion to some classic cranes or these leaping frogs. By attaching some functional details, you can evolve a boat into a minifig canoe, transform a basic box into a pot and pan, or fashion some flowers into a bricky bouquet. But how about we focus on some of paper's unique properties? For starters, its flexibility. By using paper as a jointing system, you can make things like this ragdolly puppet which you can manipulate, pose, and let physics flop around. Or how about this koi fish with surprisingly realistic motion? Similarly, you can chain loads of bricks together to make some accessories like this spiffing bow tie. We can also turn to paper's elastic properties to spring some new ideas. For example, you can make this mini catapult which can be loaded up and launched and knock down obstacles or battle to score the most goals. Using a copious amount of studs, you can break together a ball which you can roll around, bounce, and boot. And of course, you can fold into a classic spring and make a satisfyingly squishy button. And on that note, remember that with elasticity comes vibration, and therefore sound, so why not harness this to create some mildly musical instruments, like these castanets, this classic scraper, or even a drum. We got a whole bricky band going on. How about we flip the paper's lightweight properties and build a paper plane, but with a little more science? With a few bricks and strips, we can build a classic hoop glider that creates enough lift to soar through the air. And while on the subject of science, you can also create a train of gears and give learning its ratios a spin. Finally, we wouldn't be playing with paper without a little ripping and snipping. For example, you can do some strategic trimming to prune and groom a bricky bonsai. Or make a destructible structure like the sacrificial brick. Or just split apart your creation and share the fun. Yum. But why just stick to plain old sheets of paper when we can go beyond? For example, we can use other crafty objects like this cup to make a rocket and go to the moon! Or how about punching some stationery to decorate a diary for a personal touch, and give some sticky notes a little functional flair. And while you're at it, you can customize your mask so you can stay safe and swag. Why not experiment with some other materials too, such as leaves? You can gather some supplies in the wild and slap it all together to really get in touch with nature. Relaxing. But don't stop there, you can try punching and building with anything. If it punches, it passes. Oh, and by the way, of course you can use these tools to make minifig accessories like this little cape, so you know what that means.
As always, you can download all our files in the description below, so we hope you'll print them out and add a new creative layer to your Lego. Also, don't forget to grab your own stud stencil.
Sparkle, sparkle.
We've made a paper version which you can try now, but if you like one of these fancy plastic ones, we'll be making a limited amount available on our freshly opened Playful store. Each stud stencil is laser cut, stained and UV printed in-house, with love guaranteed in every punch. Mwah.
Each Playful stud stencil will undergo thorough sterilization prior to packaging and distribution.
So if you'd like to support your creativity while helping support the channel, then please pop down and consider picking one up. Finally, if you like this video and want to see even more creativity inspiring content, then please subscribe. Anyway, that's all for now. This has been Dan
and Saki.
Thanks for watching, and as always,
Stay playful!